Hello everyone, and thank you all for being here in the bear market, in the build market. Who here owns crypto? And who here bought today crypto? Nice. Okay, so we are not dead after all. Today it's about the psychology of owning a piece of a film. So it is about the love for film, cinema, merchandise, and also collecting. The interesting thing is, as you know, film is a reproductive art, so there is no original. Where's the original? Like, it keeps reproducing. And blockchain, of course, is fantastic in solving this challenge. It can make digital things scarce, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and of course also a collectible. You can now own digital content. And I want to start with a short video with someone you maybe know is Director Michael Löwenstein. He's the head of the Austrian Film Museum, and he talks a little bit about NFTs, collecting, and how this all goes together.
Every single time I do this and take a frame of a film, of course I destroy the film. In the digital realm, that's not longer a problem. I can actually, not only in this case, own a Blu-ray or a DVD copy of the film, but it is now possible to have my own collectible from the film. My name is Michael Löwenstein. I am the director of the Austrian Film Museum. For the last couple of generations of film lovers, experiencing a film happened in the movie theater. So the film was all yours, seated in a dark room, the projection in front of you. Of course, you sit with others and you experience it with others, but in the end, the film speaks to you. Owning the film or taking it home with you was always in your memory. Film history is full of collectors, and we have beautiful examples of albums where people collected frames from their favorite films, autographs from cast and crew, newspaper articles, collectibles, merchandise, to have their own private collector's album. There was film memorabilia. To own a piece of film, for instance, you could collect film magazines, film periodicals, ran stories about the film. People created photo albums, cutouts from magazines. They collected posters, and some really avid collectors actually would go and see if they would find a used copy of the film, or maybe even sneak in, talk to the projectionist and say, "Can I have a frame from my film?" Film is a reproductive art and has always been a reproductive art. So the philosopher Walter Benjamin, for instance, said that film actually changes everything in the age of mechanical reproduction. And this is where the blockchain and NFT come in, and I think completely change our perception of how digital can work. Run Lola Run is what I would consider a contemporary classic. And I remember seeing it on the opening weekend in cinemas. It was very clear that this was a film that very boldly announced a new cinematic language for a new generation. Talking to the guys at MovieShots, I believe that their approach to NFTs and the blockchain is much more interesting than a lot of what you read about and hear about in the media.
Yes, so thank you. So it's about collecting, and it's also about, it's also about community building. Because who of you own an NFT? So you maybe know that it feels different to own an NFT. It's a different emotional experience. You feel really connected to your NFT, and also really connected to other people who own an NFT of the same collection. So there's an interesting social and cultural part, like NFTs kind of can act as a social glue. And if you meet people who own NFTs of the same collection that you maybe interacted with online in real life, you will maybe find out, something that I found out, is that it's faster to become friends, basically, to share the taste. So that's why I also think that NFTs will change the world. So our goal is quite simple but not easy. We want to create the best film collectible, and we do that by making MovieShots. We work together with licensing companies, and as Michael Löwenstein said, we start with the film Run Lola Run. And you can see the collection here, where we have those collectibles that I go into detail later on. I just want to mint 2 more to show you the minting experience as well. So let's mint 2. And let's see, what was this, 67 or something? So we create now NFTs and we will switch back in then after the presentation. So we would now switch to this if we can. Thank you. Yes. So it is MovieShots. Every camera shot is a piece of art. So it's about collectibles and also about art. 2 passions to combine, film and NFTs. I'm also a founding member of the project Crypto Venus, so I'm in the space for quite a while. And we're a startup, so we have a team of people to help us, lawyers and developers and people who are good with business and finances and all of that. So we already have like a small investment and have now a working product, and our product is launched right now. Our message is that film is art, and we want to connect the collector to the process of filmmaking. The goal is to create the best film collectible, and our values would be to have a love for cinema, to have a love for film, quality. We make like high quality products, community driven, so we want the owners of the NFTs to be part of the process to also decide how does the journey continue. For example, with your Lola MovieShot NFT, you can vote which one of 2 films will be the next one. And we also want to build bridges and connect the other worlds, because NFTs are digital objects that you can take into other worlds. Unlike the Web 2 world, where your song from Spotify, you leave Spotify, the song is not there. You leave Netflix and the film is not there. But with NFTs, you can dock on other video games, other worlds, through corporations, and that's what we want to do. So we want to bridge the gap also between the film lover and the filmmaker, and basically create more appreciation for the whole process of filmmaking and also the departments. We build a Web3 community. We want to be the gold standard in film NFTs. And if this all becomes a huge success, then this could also be a financing tool for films by pre-selling them. So this is like the big long-term vision. So we have a film, we licensed it, and we split it up into its camera shots. Not scenes, not frames, but shots. So the 5-second close-up or the 10-second wide shot. Statistically, a film has between 1,000 and 2,000 of them. Dramas tend to have less, and action films tend to have more because they're really fast edited. So now we have one film could be a unique collection, a collection of unique one-of-one collectibles called MovieShots, and we manually choose one frame to represent it, and then we have our collectible. First film is Run Lola Run. This is how it looks. So basically you can see the plot structure of the film in the collection, because we see 3 times a story that's 20 minutes happening again and again, and we see the alternative variations of the story, kind of like butterfly effect. And films with visual storytellings tend to work quite good. This is also how we mint it. We mint the film in order, and we are right now, I think, here. Lola is talking to her dad, and every time when one person mints an NFT, Lola runs more on the blockchain, so the story gets told again. So if somebody is into BDSM, there are 3 funny pictures right here coming up. So we say, like, if you own a movie shot, it's like you would own a piece of the original film reel. Each movie shot has a time code, minutes, seconds, frames, and is meant for an exact amount of seconds. So there's a new feeling we now have. You can watch the film, you have one movie shot, and you can say, This moment is exactly only mine, because there's only one of it. We didn't stop there. We created a software to manually also tag what we call film loot. And we tag costumes, props, jewelry, the scene, like is outside, what is the location, and also specials like flashbacks or flash forwards. So it's film analysis on the blockchain, and you learn a lot about the film when you just see how many percentages of the shots is like 10 frames or less. And here comes the interoperability part. We also want to transfer it into other worlds. For example, we designed the red hair of Lola in the metaverse Decentraland. And if you own an NFT with the property red wild hair, it's wild now, not dyed anymore, red wild hair, then you will get this as an airdrop. So you have a collectible, but you also kind of get the stuff that's in the frame, and some of that you can use in other worlds. And through corporations, we want to add value to those collectibles. And Run Little Run will forever be the first film who did that. It's our Genesis drop. The people who have them are really happy. We're quite honored. There is this one user who said, there is this big pen, and they didn't change the design because it's so good engineered throughout the decades, and he made a comparison, and he said that this is the kind of thought and engineering that MovieShots has put into their Genesis drop of Lola Rent. This made us really happy. And also that our project, whenever someone talks about film NFTs, is one of the 10 projects that comes up. It's quite a small niche, film NFTs, but when there is a list, we're always on there. This is how it looks when you're on our website. You can see your collection, your shots, your screen time, your collected seconds, which gives you governance. And if you press the play button, you will see basically your shot, video and sound, and also like the neighbor shots. It's kind of like neighborhood, because everyone who has a piece of Run Lola Run is a neighbor. We live only a couple of seconds and frames apart. So the business aspect would be that we make a license agreement, and then everything else we do. We have the tech, we build the community, and we have the legal framework. And we don't stop there. So we start with MovieShots, with the merchandise. Later we will add events and experiences in real life, but also online, token-gated events, token-gated live events, or content you can stream. And the long-term vision is that this becomes basically a crowdfunding platform with governance as well, where the community kind of takes over. So you have a piece of art, a collectible, you can stream a part of the scene, you have access to the community, will be able to take part in votings, and you will get continuous value added through corporations that we want to do. So yeah, you can mint your MovieShot now at movieshots.io, and yeah, most of them are minted, but some can still be minted. And now I think it's a good moment maybe to go back to the two we minted. Yeah, so if you minted your MovieShot on our website, movieshots.io, there will be this nice reveal animation where you can see which one did I get. The curtains will get up, and this then is your MovieShot. You can see it in your collection, those two are mine. If you have MovieShots in a row, it will highlight, so those two are highlighted gray because they are consecutive. And if you press the play button, the MovieShot will transform into a small video player, and you will see which part of the movie is yours. And to finish this up, just want to show you some small things, how detailed the metadata is. It's kind of a love letter to the design elements of film. You could put in sneakers and see different kinds of sneakers, and you press this one, you see 2% of all MovieShots have black sneakers. You can collect sneakers, for example, or bag. We have a lot of bags, laundry bags, plastics bag, red plastics bag, or red plastic bags with money. OpenSea is not always working properly. I can really recommend you to check this out. Basically, we have quotes. For example, wer, who. We have 11 shots where the sentence "who" was said. That's not working. That's unfortunate. And yes, so we poured our hearts and passion into this, and I hope that you like it. And Run Lola Run is the first film, basically. And of course, it can be brought into the metaverse, into digital galleries, like this, for example. Yeah.
Congratulations, great project. I have a question regarding the community and how much they can decide on maybe the sequence or the ending of the movie. Is there a personalization or is there a game you plan to do with the community? I think this can be add a certain fun factor.
Thank you for the question. It's a great question. So there are a lot of film NFT projects that involve the community in the storytelling process and screenwriting process. We don't do that because we license films that are already finished, so we can't change the ending of the film Run Lola Run for start. But we want to involve them in questions like, which categories do you want? How do you want to name them? Do you prefer jewelry or clothes or traffic signs in the background? So basically, they should help building the brand and not the story. Of course, long term, it would be cool to also produce with the community together, but this is like more in the distant future. And with the first vote, it will be basically we license 2 films, and they can choose which one of it will be the one that drops. Yeah.
Yeah, also congratulations. I can already see that there is going to be a big hype for certain shots in certain, Dustin Hoffman movies or classics or whatever. You had Citizen Kane on the wall here. So congratulations. And my question concerns intellectual property. So to what extent do you sell IP with your non-fungible token? Can I do public screenings? Can I make a commercial use, or is it strictly private? So what are you selling me?
In this drop, you don't have commercial rights on the media content. You have the NFT and can do with the NFT what you want. And the rights that we needed were global merchandise rights, which is super hard because the film industry never has those global rights in one place. So very often you need more players to agree on that. And the video will be visible for you when you're connected, but you're not allowed to commercialize the media content or the video. For this collection, for a future collection, we hope the token holder can do more, obviously.
Hey, it's a super cool concept. Do you have any direct competitors or competition in different types of industries that do any kind of film or highlights for sports or things like this?
So we didn't see something like this where you own a part of the actual movie with iconic movies, but filmmakers themselves with their short films. Yes, it's not the first film on the blockchain. There are short films, the whole short film in one NFT, for example, on the blockchain. There is David Bianchi who makes like 10, 15 seconds pieces of fine art that is video and audio. So there are the creators themselves. And then there is, the most similar would be maybe Vive, who make licensed collectibles, not one-of-ones, but like big supply. But it's not a part of the film, but they have like a 3D model of Spider-Man and other brands. This is what they do, but they make collectibles that are connected to film. But for this, we didn't see it yet. And I think the reason is because we've been through the process is that we went the hard way. Like it was quite a lot of work to get the legal structure and the regulatory structure for this. And yeah, so there are easier ways to make NFTs, I would say.
What's the monetization model behind it? So let's say, for example, I purchase an NFT from a movie. I know that it's not currently the case, but in the future, is it possible that I get paid per view of my sequence? And how does it correlate with the big production companies or film studios?
With this is a great question as well. I would love to see a future like this. With the Run Lola Run collection, you're not allowed to monetize it in that way. So no monetization of yours. And basically, what is the model is that we split the revenue with the license holders. And for the future, we also want to have the producers and filmmakers more included because they can add value. I want the filmmakers and casting crew also to own NFTs. So this should be the journey and ideas like this. But this is, I think, the first version, the most careful version of a film NFT, of a licensed film NFTs, because there is no, it's pioneering. So they are more careful, and step by step we will basically, people will hopefully be allowed to do more.
Hi, did you manage to get some of the NFTs into the hands of cast and crew eventually? Because I heard that there was something reserved for them. Have they paid attention to it?
So yeah, we reserved the first 100 for the cast and crew of Run Lola Run. And we're in the process of contacting them, but nobody claimed theirs yet. Unfortunately, I would love that. Yeah.
So great product, and it's you have a very good running example already. It looks like it's pretty polished and finished. At this stage where you've reached, what are your biggest challenges going forward, or what are your next steps where you're heading? Is it community building? Is it marketing? Is it cool gadgets and features?
Yeah, we struggled with marketing quite a bit. So our most resources went into building the product. So yeah, we're always looking for help in marketing. And community building, this is one of the most scarce resources, as always. Now, when this proof works and can be repeated with other films, we would love to scale quickly. So investment is something that we're looking for right now to scale. And of course, we're always looking for film licenses. So contacts that have Hollywood contacts to the studios are always welcome. Yeah.
I pose my question later.
Yeah, sorry, one more. Two, actually, if that's okay. So on the first one is, until now, movies are kind of default in the sense that, so they're kind of default across geographies in the sense that a can of Coca-Cola in the movie that is presented in one place is as well a can of Coca-Cola in another place. However, with the possibility of this changing, so with brands wanting to advertise and to localize advertising, and it will be a Pepsi can in one place and a Coca-Cola can in another place, how will you deal with that, given that you gave the example of, oh, I want to collect all this specific item, but what if that item is not always the same in the movie across geographies?
That's a great question. We would probably always be on the search for the copy that could be considered the most original one. because that's the story that we tell. And of course, there are multiple versions of a film, also in audio and dubbed and director cuts and that. So we will try to hunt down the first version of it, and the most original we can get. This would be probably the way. Yeah. And if it's like split up, we probably would have to make a judgment call, or Pepsi and Cola should tell what they have to offer. I don't know.
And the second question is, do you think, and how would you deal with big players that are already on the video industry? Because at least the most popular clips are already on YouTube or whatever. And what if now YouTube decides to start doing NFTs of those videos, or the studios themselves that have the channels on YouTube do NFTs of those specific videos? How would you differentiate?
So just because there is a movie clip on YouTube doesn't mean that YouTube has the right to make the NFT out of it. They don't.
Yeah, the studio.
Yeah, so basically our idea is that we provide so much value that the studio rather collaborates with us. And for now we see that if you are in the licensing business, it's such a different business than being in the NFT metaverse business, where you just need to be super up to date and how is the legal side, and it's super fast changing, and also like from the cultural side. So for now, we don't see that with that many players, and of course, it's an option that this will happen, and we will continue. Yeah.
Sure. One question from my side. You had now Run Lola Run. You also had The Sound of Music on your slides. So what are you focusing now? Like current productions, or are you also aiming at the big plots we now have? I mean, Sound of Music is building a huge worldwide with a huge, tremendous community, not in Austria, but worldwide at least.
So we want to have 7 to 10 films that are really iconic, with 200,000 votes on IMDb, or 500,000 or more. So this would be the next steps, because the NFT scene and film scene is quite small. So we need to have those big licenses, I think, because we are super early still. This would also be, 7 films would also be around 10,000 NFTs, which is the usual profile picture project. So then we would probably have a community that is big enough, basically, to then come into with more smaller films. And one idea is that we also have another version of MovieShots, where the filmmakers can monetize their own content, where we don't do all the tagging. They can use it, and we just provide tech and the legal framework. So there will be maybe different tiers, like in art blocks, if you know that project. Yeah.
So you're aiming, of course, also towards Sound of Music, for example. That would be an interesting case for you.
Yeah, so we don't comment like which one films are the next until they're announced. But the next film will be a black and white comedy classic that you all probably know. And it will not be German, but it will be international, English speaking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Any other further questions? Because if not, I would pass forward to Susanna. Thanks, John, for this very interesting and even nicely minted 2 shots on the scene. Thanks, John.
Thank you very much.